it's not often we get the opportunity on here to do it, but you're somebody who sits outside the Old Firm bubble, being a Motherwell fan, and we know how vociferous both sides are when it comes to officiating and VAR. So, Aaron there saying that the refs are scared these days to make decisions because of VAR. There's not much to talk about with VAR this weekend, thankfully, but what do you feel as a Motherwell fan about it? Because let's be fair, you've had some stinkers against you this season as well.
First of all, I want Aaron's point there's probably a very, very good one, and you see it in football. You still see it in like both codes of rugby as well. As a fan of rugby, sometimes if you've got like TMO and rugby union, video ref and rugby league, referees will not make a decision. They'll think, well, I've got VAR to fall back on, so I don't. If I get it wrong, it's no big deal. Or they won't make a proper decision. They'll leave it to somebody that can watch it in the telly and hopefully get it right. So Aaron's point is a fair one. Now, I'll probably speak about not just a Motherwell, but probably what I would describe as like the wee teams, and that I don't see that as an insult. Motherwell are a wee team. I'm fine with that. I mean, there's no shame in it at all. I think it's harder to maybe against the bigger teams, and this goes for other leagues as well. Leicester fans will say it when they go to Old Trafford, for example. Getting the big decisions against the big teams is tough because there's no fallout in the press for days and days. If we get a bad decision when I'll be fair because I'm on a Rangers kind of podcast here, right? Going to Celtic Park, right? There's no fallout if it's a decision against us. But if it's the other way around, phone-ins are full of it for days. The papers have got columns written for days and ends. Social media has gone mental. But if it's a terrible decision against wee Motherwell, nobody bats an eyelid. And the same will go for St Mirren, Dundee, Kilmarnock, etc., etc., etc. And I think this goes back to days before VAR as well. If it's a 50-50 call, the referee's got to make a choice. It's like, will Motherwell fans pan in my windies? No. Will I be in the papers all week if I give you a dodgy penalty against Motherwell? No. And it's until I suppose you're in that situation yourself as a referee making a split decision. You don't know how you'll react, but we all like to think would be fair, even if we were refereeing against our team. But in the back of your mind, you've always got the thing, well, I've got my pals here, or your family, or friends, whatever. But as a referee, you like to think it doesn't happen, but they're all human, and there is a bigger fallout if, as a decision, if you give a decision against a big team, you're big news all week. Willie Collins calling you into his office to give you a stern talking to, and that way only Willie Collins can. As like a well, that's what he did work at school, so like a teacher. But I think it's more difficult for weird teams to get decisions against the big teams. And that's the world over. Alaves going to the new camp will say the same thing. Yeah,
no, I totally agree with that. And the thing is, that's put me into blow our own trumpet, but that is something that we absolutely aim to do here on this show, and we have done. I remember the Dan Casey red card against Kilmarnock, for example. Believe you me, if you want to go back and watch that, we called it because that was an utter disgrace. It was a shambles decision.
And the audio as well was damning. I mean, that you've got the assistant VAR as well saying like, I think he's just kind of like grabs him there, and the referee's looking going, no, he's pushed him up with the throat. But that referee that night, I think it was Chrissy Graham, I'm sure it was. I've heard other reporters, the other teams saying, he's a kind of typical wee SFA robot that they're just bringing up through the system. Like there's a million referees like that, over-officious, self-important, self-indulgent, wee so-and-sos that want to be the star of the show, whereas the best referees I've always found are the ones that you leave the game and you're not talking about them. You don't even know who the referee was. You're like, who was the referee? Those are the best referees. But sadly, we don't seem to be breeding these types of guys these days.